Smiling a painted smile, for a while Raggedy Ann and I walk along under the painted sky. Funny how time is flying. Alice in Wonderland, would you mind if I just hold your hand for a while? Maybe you'll understand when I say hello Cinderella. I believe they're playing our song. It certainly has been lovely, but I've got to be getting along. So Goldilocks for a while, would you mind smiling your perfect smile? You and I walking a painted road, going where time won't follow. Yes, Little Red Riding Hood, isn't it perfectly understood when I say living a storybook is better than waiting for tomorrow?
Interesting fantasies they have. Fixation, withdrawal, schizophrenia, regression. Very well. Send them back to the tubes. We shall continue the brainwash. Ha 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 ha.
You have, Frank Zappa, whose father was a chemical warfare engineer, originally assigned to the Edgewood Arsenal. Frank Zappa was actually born on the base and went to school there, lived there in military housing, spent the first 7 years of his life at the Edgewood Arsenal, the home of U.S. chemical warfare. And his wife, formerly Gail Sloatman, was a Navy brat. Her dad was a naval intelligence officer. She came from a long line of naval officers. And she actually knew Jim Morrison. They knew each other when they were kids through Navy officer circles and actually attended the same naval kindergarten together. And according to legend, she once smacked him over the head with like a hammer or something when they were like 5 years old. And and then these same two people, like, literally almost simultaneously arrive in Laurel Canyon. He as this fully formed rock icon, and she as the wife of another hugely influential rock icon, Frank Zappa. And Frank Zappa's manager was this guy, very shadowy guy named Herb Cohen, who had a history of weapons trafficking and being in the parts of the world where he really shouldn't have been when he was. He had a history that was strongly suggestive of an intelligence background. Who was his manager, and his cousin just happened to be Howard Kalin, who also happened to take up residence in Laurel Canyon at the very same time, and who also just happened to front a wildly successful rock band known as the Turtles, which was another one. So you have these three of the biggest name frontmen that come out of this canyon virtually simultaneously, all having these curious past connections and all coming from the same sort of background.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Views are spontaneous and unrehearsed. Hey, Davey, let me ask you one thing. Did you start off like, are you a Kentucky colonel's son? I mean, you know.
No, my father's a fitter. He's an engineer. He's an engineer on the railways. You know.
How did you get into show business? How did that all start out?
Oh, I used to act at school and whatnot, and they said I should be an actor, but I wanted to be a jockey.
How did you get started on that?
Well, I'll tell you about that. Just you know, I always used to watch it on the TV. You see, and I used to write so many winners each week. Watching it on the television, my father said I ought to be a jockey. I see somebody coming around the back there is going to do me in 2 minutes flat. So anyway, I decided I wanted to be a jockey. So I left school when I was 14 and a half, went to be a jockey. I practiced for about, rehearsed, listen to me. I practiced to be a jockey for about 6, 7 months. Then I finally got on a horse, started to ride, and thought this was the life. In the rain, you know, 5 o'clock in the morning and everything like that. So I,
Did you make any money?
Yeah, but not riding I didn't, because you have to serve an apprenticeship for 5 years.
Hey, Davey, jockeys aren't big guys, are they? How
No,
tall are you anyway?
about 5'3".
The girls like that size or what?
Well, you know.
You have trouble adjusting.
In boots, I'm 5'3". Yeah, no, I don't have trouble adjusting. I kind of like tall girls, yeah. It's kind of groovy, but...
No, I didn't ask you that, Davey.
Yeah.
I asked you whether or not they like you. You haven't got any hair on your face.
No, there's a funny bit. I went into hospital, had my appendix out, you see, and I go into the hospital, and she says, okay, shaving time.
All right, Davey,
I said,
get the story. Get the story. Hey, listen, haven't you got any clean thoughts? You look like such a clean kid.
I am a clean kid. You know, they may put my hair over my ears and all this shit. I'm really a clean-cut kid, you know.
Yeah.
And they made me do this.
Take off the hat. We don't want to see what the hair looks like.
Doesn't it look great?
Hey, Davey, let me ask you, what bag are you in?
What?
What bag are you in?
Bag?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
All right, let me ask you something. I mean, like, do you make a folk sound or a rock sound or anything like that?
I make a terrible sound, but, you know.
Hey, let me see you do the song and dance you do.
Song and dance I do?
Cartwheel, something. Do something, quick.
A song and... You must be joking.
No, I'm not.
What do you want me to do? Sing?
Dance one of your little quick things. Hey, Davey, you want to know something? Honestly, hold it for a second.
What?
I really think you should have been a jockey. Okay, Vic, that should be it for today. Thank you.
Oh, mother of pearl.
And a cigarette? And a... Oh. This is not one of your standard brands.
Oh, an El Zumo. Imagine having to smoke that whole thing.
Smoking may be hazardous to your health.
You see that, Davy? Davy, where's Davy? Hey, Davy?
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 Hey, Davy.
Davy? Davy?
Davy!
Up the tube. Hey, you stuck up there, Davy? Davy! Hey! Hey, no, somebody have to be in the bottom.
Well, I'm the tallest and the strongest.
So you're in the bottom.
Oh, well.
Everybody's where they want to be. That was a particularly inept thing to say, Peter, considering that we are in a vacuum cleaner. Davy! 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 Davy!
trying to take away the pain. But he just couldn't understand that his father was not a man, and it all was just a game. The years have passed, and so have I, making it hard for me to cry. And if and when I have a son, let it all be said and done. Let the sadness pass him by.